It was a weird game because like I felt like we were better than the team. We just couldn't get a stop to save our lives in that game though. We were just down like 7-8 the whole time. Our main player, like Nico, he was in foul trouble, and the refs, I thought they were just doing a horrible job at the game. Like, you know what I mean? Because actually one of the guys, the coaches, he was like, "Well, you might get a tech," and I was just like, "Nah, I don't think," because I was like, "I think we just fine in this game." So shoot, we probably were down except like the last 3 minutes of the game, though. Honestly, like the whole time, and then finally, like Jalen, he just woke up. He probably had like 17 points in the second half, though. Really good game. Yeah, he just really finally woke up. I think he just, just everything, because Nico was about to foul out, so couldn't play Nico for like 6-7 minutes, and Jalen just took over though. Nico came back in with 3 minutes, and he does what Nico does, his shots. So we ended up winning by 4. But the year before that was just like a really back-to-back game. Like we were up one. That was just like a really high level. And then not to say this 15 level wasn't a high level, but that one was just I don't think we went 3 overtimes.
Yeah.
Like that was just a crazy game.
Sometimes it's about more than manifesting. You got to do the work.
Since we are here, I don't know what episode it is, but I want to welcome you all back to the Keep It Uplifting podcast. I believe this is episode 187, and we got Coach.
Clap it up for yourself for that. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Not bad. That's pretty bad, man. It's a lot of episodes.
And I want to we are bringing back Coach Juan, the best basketball coach in Maryland. He is the up-and-coming coach. Terrapin Times is talking about him. He's on Coach USA. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes. Please stay tuned because we're also going to talk about the championship back-to-back. Now, I would play back-to-back, but Drake be taking down YouTube videos.
He definitely does. I about to say, he definitely took my we had a little video until you added the back-to-back joint. Yeah,
Drake and Universal is not playing. But we got back-to-back. Coach, say what's up to the listeners, Coach.
Hey, man, how y'all doing today? Appreciate you having me back, man. Appreciate you having me back.
So I wanted to start, like I said before, I did give you a little preview of the show, but I wanted to start with some stat questions. So a big thing for us, even when we were growing up, we had aspirations of making it to the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm big on numbers, right? Like you work in a technical field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like something about our minds and at least my mind and numbers it makes sense. Mm-hmm. So 1 to 4% of high school basketball players have odds of playing Division I basketball. Do you believe there's an emphasis on basketball sports in the black community? Is there too much of an emphasis on that in the black community?
That's kind of a two-way question because, like, I tell everybody I probably wouldn't have graduated college without basketball. Like, it kind of gave me my, organizing times and stuff like that and being able to, okay, I got homework here and stuff like that. And without sports, I just really wasn't good at organizing my time and things like that. So I think it is a needed thing. The problem I see, though, a lot of times is just like the percentage you just said. A lot of people can't understand, like, for college sports, only 6% of high school students play college sports, though. D1, D2, D3, though. It's like 6%. So, like, that's why I be telling parents a lot of times, like, if you play a college sport anyway, like, it's, you kind of accomplish a lot. And I get that, though, because it took me a while to understand it. Because, like I said, I went D3, and I was kind of like, oh, that ain't no big deal. But the more and more I got older, you kind of realize, like, a lot of people really didn't play college sports, though. So I think it probably is emphasized too much because we've had situations where, like, kids have put a lot of emphasis on it. I don't know if you heard about it, but it was a kid recently that was at Drexel actually killed himself.
Wow.
Yeah, they had just told him, like, I guess he wasn't really going to be he could finish out a scholarship there, but, basketball-wise, you just really weren't going to be playing there. So then, yeah, he ended up, taking his life and stuff like that. And I just, like, situations like that make me sad because, like, I don't ever want any of the kids I coach or anything to feel like, oh, basketball's over with now. I don't have anything. Though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I don't know, don't get me wrong. I don't know if that's what happened, but I know sometimes when basketball goes away, like, things just go different ways. So, and, I do, in those situations, I'm like, it probably was too big of an emphasis, though.
I felt that way. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to play JUCO, and a long story short, it just didn't work out, right? So I didn't have a –
yeah.
I had a – it was funny because I was very delusional. Like, my friends would call me or a couple of friends at the time was calling me NBA James because they just knew I was working out so hard. I was in the gym, I was getting active, and then I got hurt, and then I just, I never tried out grades, all of that kind of stuff. But it's funny that you say that about the kid at Drexel. Rest in peace. Condolences to the family as well. Kenny Smith has a book. I believe the name of the book is Talk of Champions. And in the book, Kenny Smith talks about how his coach at the time, when he played in New York, told him, he said, Kenny, you think you're going to play basketball in college?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, coach. He was like, well, I don't think so.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, he was just like, yeah, that's exactly what he said. And he said, he went to work that summer and he came back a different animal. And just, that's when he knew the coach of, Dean Smith, and he told him he had some kids up there and they came to take a look at him, and, the rest is history. But how did you feel when you didn't, you knew you weren't going to play overseas? And
mine was different because, like, once you go to, and I'm probably was realistic because, like, at Frostburg, we had people, still had dreams going overseas, but I knew that probably wasn't ever going to be the route for me anyway. My dad was just really realistic with me. He's like, Juan, you probably can play in college, but, he's like, you're 5'11", you athletic, but not really, athletic like that. And so it was just really like, I think we just always had conversations about getting a job, though. It wasn't really, the NBA thing. If it happens, it happens, but it wasn't one of those, nah, you're making the NBA thing. So, like, I mean, I think, like, for me, of course I cried my senior night and stuff like that, my last game, but it wasn't like it wasn't the end of the world thing for me, though. I picked up a couple men's leagues, and then it's kind of like,
I mean, you were playing,
life,
but you was playing, though. You was playing like 29 minutes a game.
Yeah.
A couple games, you was 4 for 6.
I wasn't.
You had a high shooting percentage.
Yeah, I just didn't.
You didn't shoot a lot of threes, though. And I remember you shooting threes every time we hoop. What's up with that?
It was different back then, though. Our team, like, we had an older coach. We just run really it's crazy now, like, when I watch games, because, like, you just didn't shoot threes like that. You shot open threes, but coming off the screen, just shooting a whole bunch of threes wasn't really a thing back then. I'm saying that but it was like 08. So, yeah.
Why is that so long ago, too, man?
It was, though.
That's
crazy. That's 15 years ago
that
now.
Is 15
you know what I mean?
Years
but
ago.
I think you just weren't playing like that. It's crazy. Like, I tell the kids all the time, they're like, how could you shoot threes? I'm like, yeah. Like, but we just didn't shoot them like y'all did. Like, y'all shoot threes
before layups.
Yeah. And I was like, we just didn't. That was not a known thing. Like, 2-on-1. The stuff I tell everybody, Steph Curry, and he's great for basketball, but ruined it too, though. Because now everybody doesn't see how much he does behind the scenes.
Right.
For him to pull a 3-on-1 and stuff like that. So, yeah. But nah, I didn't never had that struggle. I do know a lot of people that had it, though. I know a lot of people, more than I wish. But yeah, a lot of people can't really get out of that. Basketball kind of gone anymore now. So yeah, I definitely know a lot of people.
Like, you 50.
Yeah, nah.
You walk around with knee braces on.
Yeah. I see it a lot, and it's sad because, what I'm saying? It's like, it's over with. You know what I mean? It's over with. Like,
but speaking of changes to the game, kids are getting money, man.
A lot of
kids
money.
are getting money, but the cost of playing is also increased.
Yes.
So the whole rags to riches thing
is done.
It's been done for a while.
Yeah.
And, because the cost of it's, or at least I looked it up, AAU high school sports rec leagues, it's like $700 to $1,500.
Yeah, I say that all the time. Like, how back in the day you see movies and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get out the hood and stuff like that. And I feel bad about this, but, like, the hood kid is, like, almost gone from basketball, honestly. Like, and it's really because it's kind of our generation too now at this point. But the generation right before us, they did so well, though, and they just kind of got out the hood. And so now the kids in private school, so you just really don't have, like, and then that's why all of them are training now and stuff like that. But, yeah, you just really don't have, I probably can count on my one hand, like, how many kids we've had that's really, like, hard off, you know what I mean, like that. Because, like I said, the kids come out, they got 3 pair of shoes already. Like, it's just not the same thing, like, you know what I mean? So it's just, yeah, that struggling kid really just isn't even around anymore, though. And I wish that wasn't like that, because, you know what I mean? But
that's why I asked you, was there but a big emphasis, because now we're in an age where the 2-parent household is the one that creates the NBA players. Like 60% or 60% of the NBA's black players came from two-parent households or affluent households is like just, the way that they calculate it as far as cost.
It's tough though, because you grew up with a single mom, and I did for a little bit too. So it's tough to get the practices and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And just to kind of move around, and then AAU is expensive though, like from 8th grade, because you don't really get it paid for till you get to 8th grade though, honestly. So before that, 7th grade, 6th grade, and all that, and they're starting early and early as far as the training and stuff like that too. So it's just tough, because even if you say, all right, I only charge you $35 a session for training, if you go 3 times a week, that's that could be $400 a month though. Like, you know what I mean? So that's why that's why I said, like, a lot of times it's really been I watched it, because I started coaching 10 years ago, and we had more, I ain't gonna say broke parents, but just parents that just were
with limited resources,
resources. And now it's like that's just done though. Like now parents are traveling everywhere you go, and it's like, it's definitely a different time though. Definitely a different time.
Have you what age group you coach again? Just for the listeners who may not listen to the first episode, check that out.
First time I came on, I was coaching 17s that year.
Okay.
This past year I coached 15s. So that's 15s, and then next year I'll be 16s.
When does the money get into coaching?
Well, as far as what?
Like that NIL, name, image, and likeness type of money? Because what I'm seeing is that a lot of players are trying to build themselves as these brands before they even actually do the work and get the accomplishments.
You kind of got to do it now. I ain't gonna lie, like because like we have our kid. He just played on our 17s this year. He played for my championship team last year, but he's like top 20 in America, and like the numbers that get thrown out there are just crazy. You know what I mean? Like just the NIL deals and just things like that. So I think it's harder now on kids because they have to start thinking about more than basketball early on, though. You know what I mean? So like even like with him, he's not really a big social media guy, but it's like you probably got to be more of a social media guy. You know what I mean? Just nowadays, because you watching it like kids like Mikey Williams. Like Mikey Williams is a millionaire, but he hadn't even stepped foot on college yet. Like you know what I mean? So
that's why he bought all them guns.
If you do good on social media early, you can almost maybe make decisions that you don't even play in the NBA, honestly. Like, and so that's why I just, like I said, social media has changed it a lot. And the NIL deals, you come in because the more you kind of followers you have, that goes into your NIL evaluation and stuff like that. So it's a different time. You got to be like, kids got to strategize like earlier than I think when we were in school. You just didn't have no thought process like that.
Has that changed the way you coach?
What you mean, like as far as NIL and stuff like that?
Just the money that's in the sport. Has that a better question, has that impacted how you coach, the kids that you recruit, how you deal with players?
I don't know if it really changed. It hasn't really had to change mine because I've been blessed because even the kid I'm talking about, top 20, like he's, his mother is phenomenal, and she just, is just really on making her kids stay humble. So I think that's been a big reason why he's been so successful too. Because I've really just, like I said, people keep asking me, like, what kind of kids you recruit? And I said, you almost got to recruit the families as much as you do the kids, though.
Wow.
Well, because,
that's teenagers. That's different.
But you got to know, like, because I've been blessed, like, the last 2 years, I've had really, really good parents, though. Like, the best player on the last 2 teams are just, their parents have just been locked in, and, it's not really a whole lot of, crying off the court and things like that. And even when I get on their kids, they're kind of like, Juan, we agree with you. So I've been blessed for that. But I, like I said, I told you last time, like I've been a part of some times where you can deal with some bad parents. So that's why I think, lately I've been kind of, when I see parents that, may be problems, I'm just trying to stay away from them. So I just haven't really been, picking them up and things like that. So
have you had to turn down kids coming on to your team?
Yeah, I had to do it this past year though.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to do it this past year. Kid probably definitely would have helped us too. Definitely would have helped us. Like,
how hard is that as a coach?
It's really hard, but
and the best coach in Maryland, No, but seriously though, as a championship winning coach,
we had a lot of championships this year though, from this area though, for real. Now I'm the only one back to back, but yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, no. But I'm just saying, like this area, we dominated this year in basketball. Like,
yeah, but Maryland's like 10th in all time as far as NBA players. We do have a lot of NBA players currently in the league too.
This be when I come back to people though, when I tell people, if you look at all our NBA players that are from here though, it's from like an hour radius. Though.
Yeah.
So like if you go to like Texas, they got
all around California's everywhere too.
Yeah, if you think about ours though, we're really from
PG County,
Baltimore, and Northern Virginia, and that's it. And you think about it, you can get in all those places in an hour.
Yeah.
So that's why like a lot of times we go out of town, people be like, man, how far are your kids driving? I'm like, hey, 30 minutes. And their kids driving like 5 hours.
On the other side of town.
Like we don't have all that. So that's why I say, like we might be 10th on that, but you think about that small radius, the amount of people that have gone to the NBA.
It's extremely competitive. Yeah.
But that's what makes that's what makes this area a problem though, because everybody knows a pro.
Right. And that's why you're the best coach, because you back to back.
Nah, I mean, I'm never. It's gonna be hard. Like I think that's something that you should always let somebody else call you. Say you the best coach.
Hey, that's
like
fine.
that.
I'll say it.
Nah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But that's going to something else. Yeah. I just think you always should let everybody else do that. You don't have to because God willing, I got a long time left in coaching, so we'll see how it goes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I see that you. Well, let's stay on this money topic for a second, because how much money is in coaching for you?
Making money?
Yes, sir.
I don't make money in coaching at all. I don't make anything really. I get a little stipend from Severin, but AAU wise, that's pretty much just a break even type thing, though. Really.
Now, could you take money?
Oh,
have you seen that in the sport?
I have not seen it. But I do see. Yeah, I can see how it can happen though.
Okay.
I can see how it happen. If you coach like high enough talent for long as I can see how it can happen.
Because you putting kids in D1 schools, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I tell all my kids.
No, ain't no yeah. You're putting kids in Division I schools. I just said that there's 1 to 4% of kids that play high school AAU basketball, teenage basketball that make it to a Division I school, and you are doing that.
Absolutely.
You're a part of that, I'll say.
That's part of the reason, but that's the reason why I want to coach, though. That's the whole thing. This is why I started. Because I think a lot of times from our area, Anne Arundel County, I thought we just didn't have a lot of good we had a couple young coaches that were doing, but we didn't have enough, though, that really could grab a hold of a couple of kids, and we probably could have gone to like D2s instead of D3s, and, kind of kids might have made some different decisions as far as colleges. So, like, that's how I always felt with my college. My high school career was kind of like, I wish I had somebody really would have showed me how to do it.
I got you.
So that's why really all I do right now is just now I tell all parents I might not get you D1, but you're gonna go D2. Maybe you're only paying $2,000 a year instead of paying $15,000 a year.
Right.
So that's my main goal with it. So that's why a lot of time when you say they go on D1, I'm like, yeah, that was my goal though. That's not but that's not a thing I'm doing like for recognition or anything like that.
I mean, but you're getting the recognition though.
I mean, yeah, that's a good thing. I'm glad it's happening.
There's a kid named Jamie Kaiser. Yeah. Terrapin Times reached out to you.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good interview.
I'm just saying.
But see, that's another situation. Like his parents, phenomenal. Phenomenal parents.
I heard what you said about him. You coached him since 8th grade.
He was just a good kid, and then he's just a hard worker, man. Like really, really hard worker. Like I just was amazed at how hard he worked. You can coach him, yell at him, and things like that. He was just a good leader and things like that. So like I said, that's why we had him, and then we just followed back up with Kanai Ruth, who's hadn't made us. He was visiting Georgia this weekend, but his mom is phenomenal. That's what I was talking about, just phenomenal. You know what I mean? So
I've seen a couple of interviews with you in it, and the difference between the other coaches that they talk to is you always speak to the character and the strength of the kid. You don't really talk about their basketball skill set too much. You're very lighthearted on that. Like there's not a real strong emphasis on he's good with this or he's good with that. You're more so talking about how the work ethic, where they started, where they are now, things of that nature.
Well, I mean, because here, at New World, I think that's why I've got along with Taj. He runs the whole organization. But while we get along, we try to find, I think, just kids that really work hard, though. And then taking those kids that work hard, and then just that's why I think we've done well as far as kids going, D1 and things like that. Because we had one kid, Elijah Hawkins, who's at Minnesota now. He was at Howard the last 2 years. Won the MEAC championship, and then after that last year, everybody was calling hey, we want to play point guard. So he's in Minnesota now. And I remember when he first came out, went to the math and everything, but he didn't have a whole lot of people who really wanted him. Now we knew how good he was, but You know what I mean? So we had him. We had Tyrell Ward after that. Favor Air as well. So we've had like a lot of kids, and the one main thing has just been, you can see the characteristic though. They work hard. You know what I mean? So like Jaden Mustaf, who played with us on the championship team 17, he just committed Georgia Tech. Another one, just works hard, good parents. You know what I mean? So like it's a consistent thing though, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they got good parents and they're willing to work hard, I think we just feel here that we just we'll be able to get you better and everything like that.
So when are you moving up to actually coaching the kids where you get paid a lot of money?
Talking about colleges? Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Like,
has any colleges called you?
Nah, not really. I mean, but I've never really said like I want to do that though.
Okay.
You move around a lot in college. You see colleges now, they firing people left and right, and it's just, I got 3 daughters. I don't know if I really want my daughters moving like that. I had to do it as a kid because I was a military brat, and I just don't know if I don't know if I want them moving like that. Yeah,
moving is different when your dad makes like $5 million though.
Oh no, I mean, the right number come along. Don't get me wrong. Just saying. But then, that's just not something I'm chasing though. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I love, like, I go to practice and stuff like that. Just to watch the college coaches because they're geniuses and stuff like that. But I don't know if that's something like, because that's a grind though. I don't think people realize. I think people see that and just like, oh, you're a coach, but that's really a grind though. Like probably like 60, 70 hours. You get the wrong, not the wrong coach, but coach, like the really good coaches and stuff like that. Yeah, you're gonna be there all night. So.
How many hours would you say that you put into coaching your team?
I probably put in more than a lot of people because I watch a lot of film, and that's just going back to like my favorite college coaches that I might watch, or even like teams that we're about to play that season, or teams that I think we might end up playing in championship. So I watch a lot of film and things like that. So I don't know. I work 40 hours a week, I guess you can say. Yeah. I don't know, probably like 20 to 30. I'll probably say 20, about 20.
Wow.
About 20.
Coaching part-time, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Another question I have for you, and then we'll get into the championship run. There's some rule changes that are coming to the game? Like there's no more 1-and-1 or bonus? Is that going to impact you at all?
I haven't heard. I don't know about it. I know they were trying to stop it though. They trying to make everything. They trying to make the game go faster.
Yeah.
I don't know if they should do that though. That's just I thought they were just experimenting with it, but it might be coming along though.
Okay. I just wanted to know how you felt about it.
I don't believe it because I think the 1-on-1 separates a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because you miss. That's like a lot of pressure. I hate when they start taking away like pressure things though.
But they reset the bonus every quarter though, so you get out of the bonus.
Well, we play halves.
Okay.
We play halves. So in our situation, like, you getting the bonus, that's like a big deal though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
okay. So you are no on the rule changes. So
I don't like taking away pressure from kids though, man. I think we made enough stuff easy. I don't know if you want to take away that, I like the kids that have pressure on them with that.
Would you ever hit a kid?
Nah.
You saw that coach that
the Florida one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Now, there's definitely, and I'm going to say this, it's probably some more backstory to that than we all know. And I would hope that kid probably did something all the way crazy, though. But I've never lost my mind like that, though. Yeah, I never lost
the parents
mind.
I mean, you as a coach, like, what could even prompt? I don't know if there's anything to prompt that, right?
I don't know if he called him
Oh, yeah, but still. Like,
James, I'm not. I stress ain't like this is what I always say. There's no way y'all gonna get me stressed out like that, though. Right. You know what I mean? I might be in a game mad or something like that, but when the game's over with, hey, look, I love all y'all. So it ain't like, that was, but that looks like he might really probably take care of that kid, though, honestly. Probably lives with him or something like that, probably has to pay for his food. And the kid probably just had like a moment where he just probably showed no remorse for it, and the dude just flipped, though. Because that's what I told everybody when I saw it. I said, I'm not saying he's right.
Right, of
but
course.
I said, that looks like he probably
disrespected that coach.
Yeah, and and that coach probably does a lot for him, and he just probably, like, at that moment.
Yeah.
So I said, that's probably why he flipped. I said, not trying to say that's right, but
yeah, I
can only imagine he probably really does take care of that kid, though.
So let's get into it, man. How the season start off? Did it start off like a championship year?
It did, but we just weren't like, I thought early on, we just weren't really like, because they 15. And we had like a young team, though. They weren't like like we had reclass kids. We did have some, but a lot of kids on the team like just weren't. This was like the first year they were asked to do a lot. We had two, we had the one main guy. The ranking just came out today. He's 52. Nico Mundy. He's really, really good, but young. So
Okay.
he's 14. So trying to teach him how to be a leader and things like that. And that's hard to do, 14-year-old. So I'm asking a lot from him. We had Jalen Collingwood. This was probably his first really, really talented athletic. He goes to McNamara. So he was trying to learn how to be the man, though, and also be a leader, because he was kind of like the asshole type leader where I say stuff, but I don't really know how to get my point across. So, like this year, I thought this was probably one of my better coaching jobs, though, because I just thought all the kids got better, like, honestly, from, like, 1 through 11, though. Like, we had our extra interviews, and, everybody really felt like they – like, because this team, we lost 3 games this year. 3? Yeah, we lost, like, 3. But we started off, like, 16-0.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't lose a game on the Adidas circuit. Went 13-0 on that. So they were good, though. They were really locked in. But early on, I just didn't know, because – we were winning, but it wasn't winning like, we should have booked this team by 20, but we might have won by like 6, because we had a lot of immature kids, though. So we get about 15. Oh, I'm chilling. I'm trying to do something I ain't never done before. So, but I was happy to coach this team. Like I told everybody, it was rough because, like my mom had passed. So I didn't even coach high school this year, because I was kind of like, I don't know. Because it wasn't feeling right and things like that. But this team, like, you couldn't really be halfway in with this team, because they had so much swag with them. Like, you just kind of got to be like, all right, I got to just like wake back up. Like, 'cause it was, like this team, they were really talented. I think they really can go far with this team, going going further and stuff like that. But yeah, they just talented, and they just got like the ultimate confidence to be young like that.
So after that first loss, are you ever happy to lose sometimes?
Well, see, I didn't get to – so our first loss, I actually wasn't there, because my daughter had a birthday party that weekend. It was like 3 or 4 of them. You know how that goes, 3 or 4. So we had it was a tournament in Hampton, Southern Jam Fest, and we lost that team. I watched the game on tape. Just weren't ready to play. So that's what it was. Like, we lost. The other team was pretty good too. But they kind of like locked back in though. So it wasn't a bad thing, because we lost that game. I think we had 3 games the next weekend, won all 3 of those, and then we went on the championship run after that. That was like that's 6 games? Yeah, 6 games. So they won all those. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like to lose, but I didn't think that was a horrible loss, though. You know what I mean? At that point.
The last time you described the championship run, you were talking about there were, certain pivotal games that you could see you needed some of the, for lack of a better word, some of the pressure, some of the situational awareness that had to take place. Was that the same with this team, or they just, once they got rolling, it was?
Nah, we played like 5 overtime games. Yeah, we were an overtime game every other.
So it was a lot of character building.
Yeah, like that's why I said like it was because we had I mentioned the main guys, but then we had like Diego Joy, who is a really good point guard in the area, but I think a lot of people overlook him because when I got him, everybody was like, oh, he got a bad attitude. And so I'm like, I don't see no bad attitude. I just think just between me and him, the kid talking, he's really smart. So if you don't know what you're talking about, then yeah, you probably do. Right. I don't think that's an asshole quality of a kid.
Right,
that's me.
Right,
but some coaches might say, oh, you should just listen to me. But I'm like, nah, the kid's smart. Like, he know what he's talking about. So I'm not mad at him. Then we had our two kids that got really, like, I thought they improved a lot was like Logan Jones and Zoji. We call him Z. He gonna be mad at me. I call him Zoji. But like they were, always, because you knew they were around, but they were growing.
Right.
So when a kid has to grow, like, just don't really have his legs yet. So this year they finally kind of, the legs underneath them a little bit, and they had really, really good summers though. Like, really, I was proud of them though. Like, they really improved, and I think going into their high school careers, they're gonna have a good season, things like that.
So it was a championship game. Take me through the championship game, man.
It was a weird game because, like, I felt like we were better than the team. We just couldn't get a stop to save our lives in that game, though. We were just down, like, 7-8 the whole time. Our main player, like, Nico, he was in foul trouble. And the refs, I thought they were just doing a horrible job at the game. Like, you know what I mean? Because actually one of the guys, the coaches, he was like, "Well, you might get a tech." And I was just like, nah, I don't think – because I was like, I think we was fine in this game. So, shoot, we probably were down except, like, the last 3 minutes of the game, though, honestly, like, the whole time. And then finally, like, Jalen, he just woke up. He probably had, like, 17 points in the second half, though. Really good game. Yeah, he just really finally woke up. I think he just, just everything – because Nico was about to foul out, so couldn't play Nico for, like, 6-7 minutes, and Jalen just took over, though. Nico came back in with 3 minutes, and he does what Nico does, his shots. And, so we ended up winning by 4. But yeah, it was much different than the year before because the year before that was just like a really back-to-back game. Like we were up one. That was just like a really high level. And then not to say this 15 level wasn't a high level, but that one was just I don't think we went 3 overtimes.
Yeah.
Like that was just a crazy game.
You said it was crazy execution, and then you had got up, and then there was a foul.
Yeah,
and you was like, oh,
nah.
Man,
like I went like this. Like 17s when I just was waves everywhere. 15s was kind of I was even killed, and then it was finally. And then once we finally woke up, it was like, all right, cool. We we won. But yeah, they were just. I thought they knew when to get stops. And I thought a lot of them just learned how to communicate better and things like that. Because a lot of problems we're having early on where, some kid might miss a layup and they start yelling, oh, man, da-da-da-da. Because like our big kid, Frank, who just got an offer from Old Dominion. Frank's the nicest kid ever, you know what I mean? Just really, from Virginia, nicest. But he's a really good big man, though. But I keep telling them, he's a big man. It's going to take a little while.
Right.
You know what I mean? Frank can do a lot of things. Probably going to end up being a wing in his future. But, early on, everybody was just kind of like hard on him. It's like, y'all, like,
yeah.
If he leaves the team right now, somebody pick him up tomorrow.
Right,
Stop. Yeah. So, like I said, I thought it was just a big learning year as far as not as much on the court stuff either, though. Just learning how to like communicate with each other, learning how to be friends with somebody, or learning how to, even though I don't like somebody, hey, they're gonna help me win type thing. So, I would even, I really love coaching this team. Like it was really just a great year because when we did our exit interviews, everybody was able to say, like, yeah, I felt like I got better or something, though. So, as a coach, like, you really want to hear those things, going into their high school careers. And they got a few offers already. So, we're going to see how, we got about a couple more months, and then we'll see how they do in the high school year.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So you follow the kids throughout the year, right?
Yeah. As much as I can. One good thing came out of COVID. They stream a lot of games now. So
man. It's so much money in this.
Oh, no, it is.
I don't understand how y'all don't get paid. I mean, handedly, not crazy, but an extra $25,000 for coaching would be
phenomenal. It would be phenomenal.
It's so much money. You're playing in big arenas.
Yeah,
right. Like,
yeah, you're right. I mean, it probably is some money there.
And I'm not trying to make this all a money thing, but there's just I'm seeing so much of. I'm trying to figure out how to say this in the nicest way, but I'm seeing a lot of exploitation.
Oh, nah.
Coming down, right?
Man, that's a lot of money. Like the streaming thing, like that became.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now you got eyeballs.
Yeah.
Stuck to high school games, stuck to 15, 16-year-old games. Somebody getting paid off of that. There's some advertising somewhere going into this.
Absolutely.
Because attention is the currency.
Yeah, I haven't figured that out yet, James. So I do. I'll probably be making some good money, but I haven't really thought about it. Like I said, my job pays me well. I just kind of go with that and, see what happens, though.
All right. Well, we did get into any other remarks because that's why I brought you back. I really brought you back to talk about the championship, but it seems like it was just a smooth year. And
never gonna be a smooth year. Never a smooth year. I don't know.
Well, talk to me, coach.
Nah, because it ain't like nothing bad. Like, what I'm saying? Like, it was just a lot of it was just a different group. Like, those kids, this group was really just dealing with a lot of stuff as far as growing up to be men. My 17s coach, they were kind of already grown up. So you're just coaching basketball with them and things like that. But
how'd you cultivate that though? Were there any specific things that you did for the team to kind of come together or to grow some of these young men?
I'm big on communication though. So this year I just was really usually don't do this, but this year I was like, look, if you have something to say, we got to talk about it at practice. Be mad about it then. Let's get it over with. And I also gave them more autonomy on this team. So like I was telling you about Diego, some of his stuff was, if you see a play, just call it. Like you don't have to always look at me to do it. So a lot of it was really just giving them autonomy to do different things. Like Nico, we try and get him to be a leader, so it was giving him some leadership stuff though. Hey Nico, look, the team don't have energy today. You got to make this work though. You know what I mean? And then even with Frank, Frank was just kind of. I think confidence was a big thing for Frank because you can come out and see Frank sometimes, you be like, oh, Frank is a NBA player. But then Frank might miss his first shot, and Frank's and so with him it's just consistent conversations though, and that might include me talking to him after the game. Hey Frank, look, let's watch film and stuff like that. So it was just a lot of different things because it's not really one thing because the same way I reach Diego ain't the same way I can reach Nico, or the same way I reach Frank ain't the same way I can reach Jalen. So, but that I love the fact they all took the coaching though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
All took the coaching. Because like even in Rock Hill, like we had Kevin Lyde helped us out. He played at Temple back in the day. You probably remember Kevin though, but yeah, like he helped us out really good with our big man though. Like Frank, he was because Kevin's tall, so like I always tell everybody like. It's crazy to me when I see like a big man coach that's like 6'2". Like that ain't gonna work though. But like,
right.
I've heard like Kevin to talk to Frank and be like, "Man, I know why you missed it because you know your knee felt this way and stuff like that." You'd be like, "What?" But like they 6,
right.
They 6'10", so he knows
different air up there. Yeah,
and I get it though. So like that's why it's always good because he'll tell him, "Oh no, like you got to do this and this and this," and Frank would be like, "All right," you know what I'm saying? So like, I think just the fact that like I thought we did a good job as a program of just putting the right people around, you know what I mean? My assistant coaches were phenomenal. You know, I had Shy, Lee, and Rick, and they just were, you know, locked into the kids. You know, anything I missed, I thought they did a great job with. So it was just I guess it was a smooth year then. I guess it wasn't no big time stuff. I wasn't stressed.
Hey, man, so the championship is New World Order is the team, right?
New World Basketball.
New World Basketball is the team, and 15, 16U championships, right?
17U and 15U championships.
17U and 15U.
We
talking about this year. We only talk about that. We know you. We know you back to back.
No. This year
that's what the name of this is. Back to back.
This year we our 16U played in the championship. We only got 15U.
Okay, so 15U and 17U.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, coach.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
You be killing it, man. You be killing it, coach.
I'm trying.
So I'm glad that I got the coach here because full court press with Coach Juan is what I'm calling this.
Okay.
We talked about Ben Simmons, man.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons hasn't averaged double digits anywhere since he got his contract in 2020.
Yeah, I think he just didn't. I thought that watching his do you remember like he had a documentary that was on Showtime?
I didn't see it
when he was on LSU. Yeah, I thought then I was like, I don't know if he really loves basketball like that. I thought it was more of like I know I'm gonna make money with this, and I thought once he kind of made money. Now don't get me wrong, his back problems have probably gone into it a little bit, but yeah, I think he just don't love it though. Like you know, what I mean, Kevin Garnett did a big thing about it. He just like, yeah, I think he should just step back because I don't like. Yeah, I just don't see he love it though. You know what I mean?
but his first couple of seasons, he's almost averaging a triple double. That's why he got the check.
Yeah, but when you don't like love something,
first NBA team, second team defensive.
Yeah, I just don't think he loved it though.
MVP candidate 1 year.
If he loved it, I don't think you'd be seeing all this though. Like you would have found a way. And I know people, you know, stuff goes, you get worse, but he's just not even like aggressive anymore.
15, 7, and 8. I know that sound like a crazy stat line. I know that doesn't sound like crazy stat line. But in the NBA,
that's a crazy stat line.
A big guard who can't shoot.
Yeah, but
who won't shoot. Forget can't shoot.
Yeah, but
he reminds me of what Michael Beasley should have been. If Michael Beasley had went to a team where he could have.
Michael Beasley just shouldn't have went to Miami,
Michael Beasley didn't. He wasn't a big facilitator though. He could pass, but he reminds me of what Michael Beasley should have been.
I think there's a draft where Michael Beasley goes to like a veteran team, and he's probably fine though. Probably fine. That's just like the thing. Like, and it's crazy like that. Like it'd be funny like how drafts go like that. Like Chauncey Billups said a good one. Like if Melo had got drafted by Detroit instead of got drafted by Denver, like how much his career would have been.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think. But Ben, I don't know what. Yeah, Ben, because he had veterans when he came in. It's just, I think he just don't love it as much. He's probably playing because the money wise, but I don't think he loves it like that.
So my full court press question to you, Coach, is what would you do to get Ben Simmons back on the right path?
That's gonna be a lot of like, because that's gotten to like it's past the basketball side now. It looks like therapy type of, but you probably got to be involved with that like fully as a coach though. Like it probably had to be a therapy thing because it looks like mentally he just. And I don't know, like maybe he made when he got hurt, he remembers it all the time. And people don't talk about that part when you get hurt, like how you can always kind of remember how you did it. And he might not be able to recover after that though, because that might be why he not going to the basket as hard and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. You had to talk to him though. Like he hasn't really come out and said what.
He hasn't expanded his game either though.
Yeah, I don't. Now that part is just like you just maybe not working hard though.
That's what I'm saying. Even Zion shoots threes.
Yeah, but Zion is 300 pounds though right now.
So going into this, I want to talk about Zion. Zion, I don't believe has completed a full season yet.
That was when I was right about. I told everybody there's no way you're gonna do 82 games. That like, it's just too big to be jumping that hard though.
Okay, I understand him being a muscular player, right? Like, and the way that he plays, because he's very aggressive. He's in the paint. He's dunking on people. We've seen Blake Griffin before.
He wasn't as big as Zion,
right? But he was jumping out of this world every game.
But Blake's career kind of went quick.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
it went quick.
So we see it with Zion because he got a knee injury. What, second year, third year, I believe.
Yeah.
So what would you do? Because he looks like he's gotten control of his weight. And it seems as if he's getting control of his life. But what would your advice be to Zion? Because Mariah Mills was going crazy about. So
Dang, this is a
full court press. This full court.
No, I'm cool with it. I just didn't think, and this is gonna be so bad. What did Zion do wrong in that situation?
I didn't say he did anything wrong.
Yeah. I don't have any advice.
But we live.
I thought she was completely wrong in that situation.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what would you do to get his mind right, get him on the court more than he's off the court, and keep him there.
I mean, I think a lot of that is just like his trainer, because it sounds like, and I'm not sure when he lands, because I don't know does he land on 1 foot or land on 2?
Sometimes I've seen him land on his right leg after a double jump, but he jumps off of 2 most of the time.
So if he lands on 1 foot, then he's probably just gonna have a knee injury. And the only reason I say that is they've shown like Derrick Rose, who was another one before? I think it was like Tracy McGrady, but most of those guys, if you're really high flyers and you don't land on 2 feet when you come down, you're knee injured. And they said it's basically because when you land, you don't realize it, but you kind of, your balance goes one way.
Right.
That's like Russell Westbrook. He doesn't have any problem because when he dunks, he lands on 2 feet. But like all those guys that dunk, like I think Dwayne Wade was a 1 foot lander too, though.
I can see that.
Yeah, they were doing but they did like a study on it, and they were saying like that's how Derrick Rose got, because it's basically just degeneration knee though.
Right.
I just had to see how he lands. But Zion, I think for him to play that kind of game, I think he has to be like much lower in weight though, like too. Okay. And I don't know if he can lose that much weight either though.
But as a coach, do you? And I'm talking to you as a coach, right? You're coaching men, so I know it's a little
probably
different.
have like how Miami has it though. Like you would have to come in, your body weight percentage had to be or something though.
Okay, so
he needs a rule obviously.
But when you got certain women out here putting your business out on the internet too, would you come to them as a coach about that, or that's just?
Yeah, you got to talk about it, but I just really I just don't know what what are you supposed to do? Like because he paid her like she was naming like some crazy amounts of money, and it was like. And you still complaining? Like, what are you doing? She was like $15,000, $25,000.
Okay, so there's the gentleman from Boston. I can't think of his name right now. That's crazy that I can't.
You talking about the coach?
No, the player, not Jason Tatum's Brown. Jaylen Brown, and then there's the other kid from Houston, and they dating some high end older women.
Jaylen Brown dating Bernice Burgos, ain't he?
Right.
Yeah.
So what would you say to these young men?
I think that's stupid.
Okay. I'm just saying, as a coach, right? These guys are getting these contracts.
But I don't know them personally.
No. I mean, we're not calling them stupid.
No,
not calling Jaylen Brown
not Jaylen Brown. I'm talking about, but them messing with, because this is the only thing I be seeing with like those type, like, and not trying to talk about all women, just the IG kind of famous women.
Stop copping a plea before you make your statement.
But the IG famous women, like, it seems like, they just gonna get pregnant and then you gonna go through hell though, pretty much. That's what I've seen. Like, think about it. We have a show called Basketball Wives, and there's nobody on there married though. That is the nuts, and that's why I think that's so bad. Like, that's just crazy. Basketball Wives, nobody's been married though. Just baby mothers pretty much on there.
I'm glad I saved this to the end.
Oh yeah, you probably might have added something.
Nah, I'm gonna leave it in.
No, but I just think it's crazy when you watch the show. You like, what?
Yeah.
And then you hear like the child support they get and all that, and that's like. I just think sometimes, like, she might be a great woman. Maybe she is. And maybe they'll get married in the last 20 years. But most time they don't, though. It just ends up going bad, though. Like,
so what's your advice to the young men who potentially could get in these situations earlier, right? You're coaching these guys.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be smart. Like it's hard. You know, I'm telling them to be smart, but like, you know, I mean, I know when I was that age, I could imagine if I had $30 million, what I would have done.
Well, even on average, the NIL guys are getting $2,000 to $10,000. So let's say they just get that a game.
Yeah.
And you play, you go into March Madness.
It's tough. I mean, it's tough because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's hard to tell somebody, hey, don't mess with this woman. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because
Don't
I'm
have
never
fun. Don't enjoy yourself.
Yeah, because I'm never a liar about that. Like, you know, I talk to parents now, and I be like, I mean, you know, especially, you know, athletes, like, yeah, you love women. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? I think you got to just be as smart as you possibly can. I think the main thing is, like, I mean, I remember my college coach told me this. He was like, if you don't want to be broke, he was like, don't have kids out of wedlock. And then the other one was, what was it? Just always make sure you have a job, though. Like, it was like those two things, you know, you always be fine. And I just, you know, the wedlock one, I always just kind of just try and listen to, because I know people that, like, had kids. Like, the child support just kills people. I've watched it. Like,
when you pay it.
Yeah. Because the numbers I hear from child, I'm like, how do you live if you paying somebody that much, though? Like,
you don't. Your check be negative $1.
Oh, my God. No. I worked with a guy, like, and he was paying, they just took it right out of his check. And I remember, like, we would have, like, good checks, and it'd be like, but he had $1,500 coming out every check. Yeah. I'm like, yo, there's just no way. Like, what job can you have where you just, that's okay? Like, what do you?
Your job is to not have kids.
I know. I just be trying to be like, yo, you taking $3,000 from somebody a month. And don't get me wrong, I guess, you know, as you get older, you make more with $3,000 ain't. But I think $3,000 always kills.
It always going. You could be a millionaire. $3,000 hurts.
No, that's right. That's why I be like, what is going on?
Especially when you don't see where it goes.
You can't.
So you know that it's supposed to go to certain things, but then on top of that, you still have to be there.
You got to be there, and then you still got to.
And then when you're there and your time, you still have to spend your money.
Yeah,
so the leftover money on top of the $3,000. Yeah.
I always think it's tough, and I'm not trying. Like, don't think I'm trying.
Right. Of course.
I think it's tough when you pay child support. People are always like, "Oh, well, he doesn't spend time with her." I'm like, "Y'all, if you pay $3,000 a month,
he has to go and get more money.
A second job. That's why just no way you can do it." I'm just logical about it, you know. And I'm blessed. I'm with, you know, like I said, I'm with my wife. You know, I don't have those kind of problems. But like, I just when I see those and people be like mad at dads, I'm like, y'all, if I lose $3,000 out of my, like, I'm thinking about myself right now. If I'm paying $3,000, I have to have another job though. So I just don't have enough time to go. You know what I mean? Like,
and he's not claiming the dependents too.
Yeah, well, just see that's even a whole nother thing though. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like I don't know why people get so mad. It's like, y'all, you know how hard that is, $3,000, and then I still have to pay for and then you probably paying for food they still need, clothes and all that. Like, so it's more than $3,000, honestly. Like,
it's very emasculating, child support. But I mean, you know, the thing, I've heard success stories too, so I don't want to sit here and talk about, like, there was a guy who he was paying, I think, a good amount to the mother of his child, and she took him back for more, and he was like, I have my kid 75% of the time. Yeah. And the judge took it down to $50.
Oh, that's a good story.
Yeah, so it's not the thing about it is, like, the guy who has to pay $3,000 now, he has to be away even more because of his earning potential.
But that's just always and, like, don't get me wrong, I know this I don't want everybody to be like, Juan is caping for the, you know.
No, you know what I want to say though? Like, you're a full-time dad, right? Absolutely. And you spend a lot of time with your kids, and other dads do, but there's some dads who are good dads that don't spend a ton of time with their kids.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they live in the same home.
Absolutely,
There's a lot of people out here who's like, I never saw my dad unless it was Saturday or Sunday when he took us to church.
Yeah, like, yeah, absolutely.
During the week, like, in passing, he may come in there when he got off of work, but I never saw my dad.
I love, like, my stepdad, loved him to death, but, like, he wasn't a big, like,
he wasn't.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think
I'm at every game. I'm at everything that you do.
Came to games, but, like, you know, he was a come to game and leave before. You know, like,
I got stuff I'm working. I got stuff to do.
He had to be up at 4 a.m. to go to work, so it was like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I definitely. I mean, I think Instagram has just kind of killed it because they always be like, you know, spend time and all that stuff, and you know, like, don't get me wrong, you should spend time when you got it.
Of course.
But I think reality sometimes is, you know, you just don't have.
Somebody has to work.
That's the thing.
I think that's the missing.
People does miss that,
right? You know, and most of the situations, the man is doing a more hands-on job. Yes. So a mom may have a clerical, technical job where she's in front of a computer, and they give a lot of flexibilities with those type of positions. But if your dad works on a steel mill or works in a warehouse, or is a welder or any construction type of jobs,
you can't do that from home.
Yeah. No, and he got to go to and fro site locations.
Yeah,
so I think there's just a lot that goes into that, and sometimes dads take they'll take the harder route to make sure that everybody else is okay. You know what I'm saying? Like
90% of being a dad. Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
it's crazy though, man. But as a coach, have you ever had to step into that role for an extended period of time?
The dad role?
Yeah, for one of your.
I never try to be because I'm
not the dad role, but like
mentor. Absolutely, I do that. That's a given. I don't even think you can say you're a good coach if you don't have that. Like honestly, because it's just situations just come up. Like they just need like somebody to talk to about it. You know what I mean? And can't always talk to mom about everything. You know what I mean? Because like you going through different stuff in your body. Like that's what a lot of times I be telling people to realize too. Just because these kids are 6, 7, stuff like that, they still only 14 and 15 though. So a lot of stuff that we went through at 14, 15, they're doing too though, and it's probably worse now because IG. And,
the world's moving faster, and I think that is the thing that gets missing. That gets missing in the mix is that these kids are actually still kids.
Yeah, but you have kids doing grown up stuff though now, and the feelings start coming out.
Right.
So you have a 14-year-old who has had sex with 5 to 7 women and stuff like that, and it's like consistent thing. And like I always tell my players, like I'm never gonna be the coach to be like, stop. You know what I mean? Don't have sex anymore.
What's wrong with that though? From a man's perspective, hey, I know what you're doing, and it will be there.
You can say that,
of course, but
this is what I always
obviously
say.
In a different way. I'm putting some sauce on it because we on a pod, right?
Because I think what messes up a lot of times is, for whatever reason, kids are not scared. You know how it was. We didn't have you used the condom for having sex if you're having sex.
Right.
This is just now. I don't know what it is. This is just and I don't know if it's not. Maybe it's not enough commercials or whatever. But
when's the last time you seen a safe sex commercial?
Yeah,
though?
you really don't see them no more. You know what I mean? I don't even know if they do it in school.
That was something that was big when we were in. Obviously we're talking real old here, but another full court press. Another full court press question for you is: what do you like about Coach Prime? And do you think you would be that same type of coach?
I love everything Coach Prime does though with this. I like all of it though. Because I think he just really is. I think a lot of it is he's just really giving the power to the kids though, and also, but all he's doing pretty much where I've watched it is just I'm taking my fame, I'm bringing attention to this program, and I think what was getting lost in it is he probably is a pretty good football coach actually. That's really what it is. I think people got to realize that. And what he doesn't know, he's hiring pretty good people around him too, though.
What people don't know is how hard is it to become a Hall of Famer?
2 sports. Thank you. That's what when everybody was talking about, he's going to struggle Colorado, I'm like, he probably won't.
I don't think people are missing that. And like you said, even if he doesn't know, he knew the people who could help him.
Yeah.
And Deion didn't have, Tim Grover is talked about because he worked with Michael and Kobe and other players. Who worked with Deion? Who worked with Bo Jackson? I just believe that these type of players, if they got into certain positions, they would be able to give that knowledge and share the knowledge because they had to figure it out.
Yeah, but I think a lot of times people don't realize too, to play cornerback, you can't be stupid either though. So you think about all the people he checked and all that, he checked a lot of that was an era of really good receivers though.
Yeah, I watched the clip when he was shutting Jerry Rice down.
Yeah, and Jerry Rice my favorite receiver.
Yeah, Jerry Rice.
Yeah, Jerry Rice struggled with him though. But I think that the problem was just because Deion talked so much, everybody was like, oh, he don't know nothing about coaching. But I'm like, nah, I think he probably because when you talk to former professionals and things like that, a lot of them they see the game way, way different than you ever could see it though.
Yeah.
Like, I talked to like Kevin Lyon coaches with us, and I know a lot of times me and him would talk about it. And the way he's able to break down stuff like that, you're like, oh, okay, like that's real. Like, okay. And I don't think I'm bad at it, but you know what I'm saying? You can just learn a lot from talking to professionals when they talk about basketball though. Like, I think that's why Gilbert Arenas has a good podcast, because he kind of, like he talks about it. Some of it's in notches, but if you really, when he starts talking about,
he's selling it, right? He's selling his show, but when you really get into it, like the story you told about Kobe when it was a game where, was it him that told that story? No, I think it was in the book with Kenny Smith, but essentially there was a benefit that all the players had got on the bus. Yeah. And Kenny Smith was talking about Kobe's mentality, and he said that, he called Kobe, said, I'm doing this charity for the people who were affected by Hurricane Katrina, I think it was. And Kobe, immediate yes. So he said, once I knew I got Kobe, I could get everybody else. So it was a little all-star game that he was able to do in Houston because he played for the Houston Rockets. Mm-hmm. And he said when they got on a bus, he said whatever he said and thanked everybody. And Kobe was like, I just want to let y'all know I'm taking this serious. I ain't playing with none of y'all.
For charity.
And just sat back down. But it was like Melo, Bron, D-Wade. It was Melo, D-Wade. I don't know if it was Bron because I don't think he mentioned Bron. But it was all the top players at that time. And he was just like, I want to let y'all know I'm taking this serious. And Kobe obviously had some choice words. But he was just saying that to the mentality of Kobe was – it was just always a problem. Like,
that's why.
No, I'm just saying, like, even when Gilbert talks about like how positions and stuff like that, it's just there is a different level to a professional. That's a question I have for you. Do you actually have conversations about carrying? And then I'll have a last question for you after that. But do you have conversations with the kids about carrying themselves as a professional and how doing things as a professional is actually done? Because we're professional, we're professionals in our field, right?
Yeah.
And we carry ourselves a certain way at work. We show up on time. We reach deliverables on time. Like, there's a way of being professional in a corporate environment. Do you talk to kids about how to carry themselves as a professional in the game of basketball?
Yeah, I always do, because I tell them, like, even though, like, I didn't go D1, all of the jobs I've gotten has been because of basketball, though. So I'm always big on, like, hey, look, and I always just tell them, don't be a dick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just don't, like, because you know what I'm saying? Like, people remember, like, assholes and stuff like that. And I just tell them, like, good people, I don't care what you hear, good people make it further than the people that are just being like assholes for no reason. So like, and it's just like, you always got to be doing that all the time though. Like, I tell them, like, on your IG, hey, y'all, look, I know your friends are probably posting, the joints with the guns and stuff like that. Y'all can't do that. Y'all play basketball. Like, because you just don't want to give the NIL any reason where they start being like, oh, nah, well, we don't want to deal with them and stuff like that.
Right.
And in this, this market right now, you just don't want to, you just don't want to give them anything where they can say, oh, well, nah, he might be this guy and stuff like that, especially if you're not. And like I said, the day of the broke kid playing basketball is kind of over. So a lot of them, I really almost get irritated with them because, like, you got basement in your house. Stop. Like, you got your own arcade room and all that. Like, stop. There's not this.
Son, that's so crazy, dog. You have an extra piece of a house that we.
Yeah, like y'all have. I hate it. Like,
you have steps that go up and down in your house.
So, like, I just don't let a lot of them. Yeah, like, I'm like, I know where you live at. Like, no, you can't talk any of that stuff. Like, it's not.
Dog, what was going on with Ja? I know it's a long time ago, and somebody's going to probably be like, why are you bringing this up? But what was going on with Ja, man? What would you say to him?
I think he just got bad friends. Like, really, really, really bad friends. Because I just don't, and I think in my friend circle, we talked about it. Like, if somebody is, like, making that much money and he's responsible for all of us.
Yeah, we slapping phones out your hand. John, we don't even have the But that was why I asked you about the NIL and the kids branding. Like, you got to push a kid to go do drugs now.
Yeah.
Because the social media is a drug.
Yeah.
And I really feel like they've done studies on it, but whenever social media is over and whatever next to come, Web 3.0, whatever. Yeah. I really feel that we'll look back at it and be like, man, that was really bad for us.
Oh, I know it's bad.
But
think about this. When you were young, think about this. There were a time we didn't have phones.
Yes.
And we remember that.
Yes.
If I took away your phone right now, you probably would freak the fuck. Well, I don't know about you.
Yeah, for us, I feel like losing our phone initially, like the first 4 hours is a relief. You like,
oh, no, me. It's been sometimes like my wife would get mad, like, where's your phone at? I'm like, I left it at home.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, what if somebody need to call you? I'm with you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
it'll
fine.
be all right.
Yeah.
Like I'm to that point. I do get to that.
Dog, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Like when you lose I've been in some messed up situations in my life, and I didn't have my phone. I couldn't have my phone, and I was very, very comfortable.
Probably more relaxing.
Man, it's peaceful. I think people don't understand that too. Put your phone down. There's a lot of peace that's possible for you.
No, I like when I go on vacation. Like we ain't got no service.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know you pay international? Nah. I'm cool.
I'll get it when I go to the lobby. I'm not doing all that. Nope. Cause I was like, because the kids be like, well, what did y'all do on your phones for social media? Like we just didn't use them, y'all. Like
I think Snake was like the most amazing game ever.
Yeah, but it was only so much Snake you was gonna play. Like that's what I'm telling them. Like y'all, we didn't have like how y'all video record everything. Our camera was too crappy to do anything.
We used to text to actually communicate, not to ignore people either.
Yeah, that's true. Texting, because texting used to cost money. That's what I told them. Like,
I really had to get to you if I sent you a text. Man, it was 5 cents.
Yeah, every time. That's why I was like, yo, it's just a different thing. So like, yeah, I think the kids nowadays it's just hard for them to learn how to like. They just got to really be smart from as soon as they start. Like every time they pick up their phone, they got to be thinking though, and that's why I try and get across to them. Just make sure you thinking before you post stuff, because that's all that happened with Job. Really was just not thinking, and I don't know what his friends are thinking either.
He was just going live, bro. Like everybody wants you to go live.
I don't know why he would ever go live. Ever. Like, dog, just don't.
Yeah, especially when you're worth that much money. I feel like the team would say, hey, we don't even care about the guns. Just stop showing people where you're at.
Yeah, it was that. You had the gun, but he had guns. I'm like, John, you can't have that many problems. Like, there's no way. And if you do, you need to ask for a trade from Memphis then.
If you have that many problems, you need to go back in your mansion.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing I be trying to understand. Like, why are y'all outside so much? Like, if you got that much money, man, you can have parties at your house. And I just don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I hope he gets, back and kind of lock in, but that's just crazy, though. Like,
my last question is always the same. I may switch it up at some point, but I always like to hear about what's next, because I feel that last time I asked you what was next, you were talking about, running your own tournament.
Yep.
And you were talking about, obviously, you accomplished it, winning another one. So what's next for you, Coach?
I know it's not till December, but I'm doing some memorial showcase for my mom. So the goal is really just to raise money. My mom was a big giver, so I'm putting this on. It's December 9th. Grace brother, we got about 14 teams already committed and everything. The schedule will be coming out next Sunday because it'll be a year. She passed next Sunday, so we got people coming out. We're trying to just raise money, get some sponsors, things like that, because it's December 9th, but I want to be able to just basically be able to feed a couple families for Christmas and get them some, get them some gifts and things like that for Christmas. My mom was a big giver like that, so just want to kind of keep it going, though. So that's just that's the next big thing I got going on, and then AAU season will be back up in March and things like that. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to be a part of that if I can. You need a helping hand or whatever you need.
Yeah. I'll let you. Man, like I said, I put out a schedule next week. Just gonna try and blast it on IG and things like that. Trying to just get it out there and make sure it gets as packed as possible, and maybe get a couple local people to sponsor and things like that, just to try and help out a couple families, man. I think I'm blessed, and I think the next part of life for me is just really trying to help other people be blessed.
It's crazy. Speaking of mom, how have you been handling that? How were you?
It was rough at first. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that was a really, when you first happens, you kind of like, oh, I'll be all right. But then I think you don't realize how much you actually talk to your mom, until it happens. But definitely went to therapy, just talking about it a lot more. But, it just is what it is day by day, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Well, I'm here for you. Ever need to talk, we don't need microphones for that, man. But I know you got your own friend group and everything. Yeah. But definitely, Coach, it was a blessing to have you here. It's always a good chat, man. And Michael Jordan is still better than LeBron, right?
I'm always going to be on Michael Jordan. That's not going to change for me.
Yeah. I want to thank you all for listening to the episode. Please tap the like button, touch subscribe if you enjoyed the show. I appreciate you.
Make sure to like, comment, share, and most importantly, keep it uplifting.